We are located in the city of Tokyo, and the anime begins with a strong fire throughout the city. We are introduced to the fire department while trying to rescue a person. Here we meet Shun, who has managed to return to the crane with the girl. At that moment, his partner named Daigo arrives and has also managed to rescue another person. However, his suit does not have much oxygen left. Once he hands the girl to his friend Shun, he runs like crazy straight to the building. While he is going down in the crane, he reports that Daigo has stayed in the building, so he requests that a rope be thrown to him. After a while, we see something coming, who turns out to be Daigo along with another person. Once he has descended, Shun complains to him and comments that he should communicate things before acting, to which he apologizes and comments that he did not do it because he was very concentrated on the ascending breathing technique. This technique allows him work longer with a limited amount of air. She also tells him that she is glad that he is her partner, which makes Shun blush. After this, Daigo checks some of the victims to confirm their status. At that moment, someone reports that they must continue rescuing people, and so they head to the rescue. In a change of scene, we are located a few years in the past, precisely at the Inagi fire station, where we can see Shun, somewhat sad because his Sunday off is over. The next morning, we see him in his training session, where he is complained about for having a thread on his suit and having it wrinkled. In a scene change, he steps on the rope while running, so the coach is quite harsh and forces him to apologize to the rope all day long. Time passes and finally Shun manages to graduate. He begins to work in the fire brigade and easily climbs to pass the exam to join the rescue force. However, once he passes the exam, he has to join the Hatagaya Fire School, where the first 4 days, you will have to learn about smoke and electricity. After this, it is pure practical training. One of those days, he feels that he is having a bad time, due to the hard training. Here he sees a beautiful girl named Yuki Nakamura, and also Daigo, who we saw at the beginning of the video, who turns out to be one of the best in the class. The next day, they continue the training, now practicing the rescue with the crane. Here it is revealed to us that only a small group manages to become a member of the elite brigade of firefighters belonging to the rescue corps due to the harsh tests that are given. After this, the groups are divided, and Shun has been part of the group belonging to Kyosuke Yamagami, fire sergeant. After this, he puts them in a fairly strict training, where they must endure about 30 minutes suspended on the wall. After a few minutes, they begin to fall like fruit. However, Shun still resists with Yuki and Daigo. After a few more minutes, Shun can't resist anymore and falls to the ground, and he feels ashamed of having lost to a girl, who also falls after him, so only the incredible Daigo remains next to the trainer. At that moment, the coach approaches him as if he were going to kiss him and calls him by name in a suspicious way, giving us to understand that there is some mystery behind this boy. However, Daigo has finally fallen and the coach comments that is all for today. Later that night, Daigo was talking to his coach and asks him to please keep the secret. However, Shun was passing by and overheard, so he now thinks that Daigo has a weak point. After this, Daigo was training alone, until Shun arrived and joined him. However, Daigo had not even noticed that they were in the same group. At that moment, Shun asks him to tell him that secret that he asked the coach to keep. What a gossip this guy isn't. But well, Daigo simply ignored him and continued with his training. Once he concludes, he tells Shun that they are not friends. And so we have reached the end of this first chapter. If you want to see a second part, comment below, name of the anime. Also remember to leave your like, subscribe and activate notifications, since this way you would be helping me to continue bringing more anime summaries.